afternoon, everybody. Hi, good afternoon. Selamat siang semua di Wisma Geylang Serai. Good afternoon, all my friends right here in Wisma Geylang Serai. If you're interested in some storytelling, please come forward. Let me tell you something that is not a story about long ago. It's a story about modern Singapore, my personal journey from the 80s to now. So if you are interested in a story, if you are not doing anything, just come forward. We have a lepak corner for you. We have benches. We have a fan here. You can look at some old things at the back. Just come forward. Now, welcome once again to Wisma Geylang Serai. Today's story is called Not so long ago. It's about how we transitioned from third world to first world in a mere 20 or 30 years. Firstly, to introduce myself, my name is Shaiful. I'm 37 years old this year and I come from Bedok. Is there any Bedok people in the house? Anyone from Bedok? Oh no. Okay, Bedok is quite nearby. And for me, just to tell you, if you live in Bedok, you're cool. As you can see, I'm very cool. That's why I come from Bedok. I was born at Mount Alvernia Hospital in 1982. And my first year of my life, I was at Block 99, Bedok North Avenue 4. If you guys remember this, Block 99, Bedok North Avenue 4 is the point block. Point block means stand-alone block. And the stand-alone block is very important in the HDB days. Back then, a stand-alone block, a point block, would be considered a high-end block. If you live in a point block, the flats were really big. And if you remember, flats of the old days were always very big. Unlike the BTOs right now, it's very, very small. Those who live in a condo, anyone here lives in a condo? I'm sorry, I have to tell you my reality. Condo is just BTO with security guard and swimming pool, okay? It's still a very, very small place. And then, when I was about 2 till about 6, I spent some of my time in Tan Tock Seng Hospital Quarters. For the older ones, remember Tan Tock Seng Hospital Quarters, itulah tempat where it's like a chalet in the hospital. Yeah? Families in transition, families in difficulty, families who are waiting for their key, for HDB, would go there. And I spent considerable time in my late grandparents' house, which is Block 99, Bedok North Avenue 4. And then I moved to Potong Pasir as a really young child. I was 5 or 6 years old. And then I lived in Potong Pasir all the way till 1996. Now I'll stop the story because if I just talk about my life story, all of you will go to sleep. So I'm going to do something that I always do during my sets. I'm going to introduce you to my life in pictures and physical items. Alright? First thing I'm going to take out is quite important. Yes, it's a little folder here that I have. Okay. Now this story is a bit of my journey. I'll start with this very simple picture. Pakcik-pakcik kalau ada dekat pun boleh ya, silakan ya. Can anyone tell? A boy, can you say? Do you know what's going on here? Wedding. Okay, what kind of wedding is this? Malay wedding. It's a Malay wedding. Whose wedding is this? It's a wedding of my mother and my father. This pakcik over here is my father, this is him. Yeah? Where am I in this picture? I haven't existed yet, so I'm not in this picture. Okay? Interestingly, this was taken in Geylang as well. Not Geylang Serai per se, somewhere in the outer corners of Geylang. This was where this picture was taken. And then, I came into the world. I spent my 1 year, as I mentioned, in my late grandparents' flat. And then I moved to Potong Pasir. Now, in the time I was in Potong Pasir, this is very true of all families, especially Malay families. All Malay families will have family headquarters. Port Keluarga is always the house of the grandparents on either mother's side or father's side. Everybody will gather during Hari Raya, during any special occasion, birthday, wedding and whatnot, okay? So in this time, I had 2 cousins. Now, can you all see? This is a picture of me and my 2 cousins. Can you guess which one is me? Say this one? Huh? Right? This one? No, I'm the one in the center. The one that looks like a girl. So apparently if you look like a girl when growing up as a boy, you're supposed to be very handsome. Yeah? So I don't know what happened to me. I'm not that handsome anymore. Okay, this is me. And as you can tell, very old way of dressing up, very hip. Apparently red trousers were very hip last time, I didn't know. but I wore them anyway. So this is my childhood. On my right and left are my cousins. They are also brothers. They are in their 30s now. I'm 37. So that's it. Now it's just my early life. And then I moved to Potong Pasir. Potong Pasir was very much like Bedok in the old days. When I say very much like Bedok, it's because of the people and the vibe. Yeah, if you live in Potong Pasir, if you live in Bedok, that's one thing you can tell. Things are more relaxed in these areas. When things are more relaxed, your childhood is different. I'm a typical Malay boy, and in the 90s, what would Malay boys do? They play football at the void deck. Kedegang, kedeguk, kedegang, kedeguk. Neighbors complain, very noisy. We play things like hide and seek. We play Rumah Dayak, play catching for sure, yes. We played Hantam Bola, which is a form of dodgeball. Now you don't find these things anymore because a lot of the younger generation, and it's not your fault, you all are always on your iPads, your phones, your games, very minimal interaction. When you interact also, it's through WhatsApp, it's through calls. Last time, it's house phone, you know. There was no 6 before the landline. So you had to call your friend's house, and sometimes other people will pick up the phone. Hello, Zaki ada, hello, Din ada, nak main bola kat bawah blok, things like that. These kind of things don't exist anymore. Right now, people contact direct. If I was a boy right now, and I'll text you, I wouldn't know your parents because I'll be texting you. Yeah. So in this way, the old days were a bit better. You not only knew your friends, you knew your friends' families. Yeah. You knew what time to call. Certain times you cannot call. Things like that. So I grew up. I had a normal childhood. I had a very, very fun childhood. Okay. And these are some items from my childhood. Now, I would watch movies. Okay, as a child, I watch TV, and when TV gets boring, you watch movies. So movies nowadays, what do you watch them on? Netflix. Wow, you got Netflix account now? I don't have one. Last time I had this. Okay. Older people, remember this? Three Stooges. These were the classic slapstick comedy. We call them Bujang Lapuk Mak Saleh. Yeah? If you know Bujang Lapuk, P. Ramli, we use this kind of ball for Hantam Bola. Yeah, okay? So VHS tape was something that we used, and this was how it looked like for those of you who don't know. VHS tape. Remember? Yeah, you pop this into your VHS player. Sometimes it goes this way, sometimes you have to pop and eject and you masuk and tutup balik. The same thing. And then if you don't rewind to full, you will get fungus, and that's when you know your videotape days are over. Yeah, and from there we all transition to VCDs, Laserdiscs, DVDs, and Netflix. Now, that's just videos. I would like to play games. Okay. Other than the chapte, the goli, the marbles, the hantam bola, the catching, the football at the void deck, we all would have video games. Can anyone remember what were the video games of yesteryear? Atari? Nintendo? Sega? If you were wealthy, you had Neo Geo? Now, and then you had all your handheld games. Tetris, Brick Game, Western Bar, Heli Battle. But I had something that was a bit higher on the status echelon, yeah? My old Sega Game Gear. Once upon a time when you had this, you were the man. Everybody wanted to borrow Sega Game Gear because whatever that was on the screen was almost like a TV screen. Yeah, it wasn't like 1 bit, 2 bit, it was really full color. So the games were always Sonic the Hedgehog, Bare Knuckles, Dracula, and some other games. Yeah? Now, this game is okay, I'll put them up here. All of you can take your time and interact with them, yeah? Now, we also had Sega 16-bit, the actual console. You plug your TV, you get your friends to play. I don't have the actual console now, I give that away. But I have memories, which is these two things. The controllers. Can you notice something similar about them? Do you think they're the same thing? In theory, they're the same thing. But if you look properly, no, original, imitation. Yeah? So even though we were growing up, our economy for the games was a bit relevant to how we grew up. So I grew up in Potong Pasir and Bedok. very working class, you can get an invitation for $10 cheaper, you get the invitation, okay? We didn't really care too much whether it worked or not, as long as it could be put to use. Now, right now, the younger ones, when you're reading, what do you read things on? There's all these high-tech things like Kindle, right? You'll read mainly from your phones. Do you still read books? Start reading books. Do you still read books? Good. Anyone here reads books? Please read books, alright? I always advocate this, I always encourage this. I don't care whether you're young or you're old, read books. Why? Books are honest. Books is something you can't just delete or edit or filter out. It is what it is, yeah? And during my time when I was growing up, these were my books. For humor, Archie's Comics. And this is a spin-off of one of its peripheral characters, or rather supporting characters, Jughead. Yeah? If you liked a bit of adventure, you read Tintin. Now this is a reissue. The actual one is a paperback. Yeah? It's A3 size, A4 size maybe. And this is the reissue of Tintin, written by the Belgian writer Hergé, and it details Tintin's adventures as an intrepid adventurer all over the world. Ya, kira kan adventurer, kita babi punya, pergi mana-mana, explore mana-mana. Now, this is just the growing up phase. But the one thing that always registers in my mind, and I think for people of my generation, are ghost stories. Thus, true Singapore ghost stories. It brings a smile on some of your faces. You remember this, right? This is why it's so important. Barely any imagery, barely any graphics, but the words itself tell a story enough to put a chill down your spine. This is why I really advocate reading books, and why it's so special. It's true Singapore ghost stories. You hear stories about Yishun, you hear stories about Bedok, you hear stories about Potong Pasir, Pasir Ris, Jurong, and all that. It is very close to home, and that's why people are very engaged. So these were my books. Now, books, games, videos. What about music? Where do you all listen to your music now? Spotify. Spotify. So you can choose your music anytime you want. What about this? This is what you call the cassette tape. Malays, orang semua tahu ni band mana? Search. Album Mentari Merah di UFO Timur. Cassette. Yeah? Released by Philips. It don't even exist anymore as a cassette company. But this is Search. Now this is something maybe the younger ones do not know. It's what you call blank cassette. This was our Spotify. Even then, we had to work very hard for the Spotify. So blank cassette, what does it do? It records music. Yeah? You can either, you can either dub it from your CD player or your cassette player, or as a lot of us do, we pop this into our radio. Our favorite song is on the radio, you press record, and then you play back. Yeah, you cannot choose, you miss the first 10 seconds, you miss the best part, alamak, that's it. Yeah, and also the problem is when you play this on your cassette player,